Welcome back, everybody, to another shocking episode of Lockdown 23 in 1. That's right, self-incriminatingly shocking it is. Today we're going to be traveling down to LA to speak about a Crip gangster who, if you were to ask me, got caught up in the worst way possible. From self-snitching. Man, the things that people post online just blows my mind. I see it every day and I'm saying to myself, you better hope the feds or the authorities of some kind ain't watching. And I think that's what it is. A lot of people just think that, they're too minute to be seen. But the guy that we're talking about today, I don't know if he just didn't care or really thought he never was going to get caught. I'll break more of it down here in 1 second, but first, as always, if you're new to the channel and enjoy all things lockup and crime related, then this is absolutely where you need to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave, and check out my playlist with many more videos for you to start watching today. Alright, I'll be reading from a couple articles today and of course giving my 2 cents along the way. This one begins saying a member of the Los Angeles Crips, who brazenly posted photos of himself on Instagram holding stacks of cash while advertising a bank fraud scheme, has now been sentenced to a federal prison. Chase Matthew Griffin, aka Trey, used Instagram to lure accomplices who gave him access to their bank accounts, where he deposited forged checks and made off with the loot. And look, before I continue reading, man, I've had people like this come my way. I'm not even playing. And I'm sure probably a handful of y'all have had some scammers come your way as well. But I'm here to tell you, anybody promising free fast cash out of the thin blue air, you don't know nothing about them. You're not even a damn entrepreneur in any way, shape, or form. You go to the factory and come back home. You make good money though. And there's a stranger with a blue check in your Instagram account. Blue check, never had one of those before. He's gotta be important. Think again. People can buy those too. Gotta look at the subscriber count, his posts, and all that stuff to make sure that, it's a legitimate source of possible income. But 99% of the time, man, it's all a scam, fraud. And if you fall into it, man, chances are you're gonna be facing prison time as well. But let me continue reading because it gets wild. It says a member of the Los Angeles Crips, Griffin, 26, who came from Atlanta, but also resided in South Los Angeles, was sentenced in Los Angeles federal court Thursday and also ordered to pay $307,000 in restitution. The fraudster pled guilty on March 5th to 1 count of conspiracy to commit bank fraud. He has been in federal custody since September 2025. Prosecutors said Griffin participated in a criminal conspiracy that started in 2022, in which he and his associates obtained checks stolen from the mail and then altered them or created counterfeit versions so they appeared to be payable to accomplices. Griffin recruited these accomplices online, often through Instagram, where he posted photos of himself holding towering stacks of cash. He advertised for holders of various bank accounts to give them access to those accounts. After he recruited an accomplice, Griffin and his crew deposited the fraudulent checks, typically for tens of thousands of dollars, into the bank account and then raced to withdraw the funds before the bank could detect the fraud. Griffin used the money to bankroll a high-flying lifestyle that included a ranch home with a $15,000 month lease, jet travel, and partying at casinos. Social media pics of the crook showed him posing with a BMW and a Rolls Royce. A case from December 2023 shows how the scam went down. A North Hollywood business owner reported to law enforcement that the business had mailed 3 checks totaling approximately $85,000 from a United States Postal Service collection box in Tarzana. The checks were stolen before they were delivered to their intended recipient and then deposited into JP Morgan and Chase bank accounts belonging to Griffin's accomplices, prosecutors said. Why did Chase have to pick a Chase bank account? Unless I'm reading this wrong. This dude's diabolical, man. He was probably saying to these people, Capital One time, what's in your wallet? This guy probably thought he was slicker than oil. It says a law enforcement review of a Chase bank account where one of those checks was deposited revealed a previous deposit of approximately $22K made at an ATM in Upland. This check, along with another for approximately $29K, was stolen and used to create counterfeit versions with the same date, check number, and amount as the original, but with different payees. The money was quickly withdrawn from the account he used for ATM withdrawals, Zelle, and Cash App payments, a plane ticket, and card purchases at San Bernardino County Casino, according to prosecutors. The scheme finally unraveled after investigators flipped an accomplice of Griffin's and convinced the person to cooperate with law enforcement, typically how it usually always goes down. But they probably had plenty, you know, with this guy's posts and probably personal messages to get a conviction. It probably just made it a lot easier having someone inside the mix turn on him as well. The question here is he going to be doing any kind of flipping on anyone? Cases like this, man, you'd be surprised. Almost all of them try to get themselves a little break. Not saying this guy is, I'm just saying. But it says in late 2023, Griffin worked with the cooperating witness to deposit 3 fraudulent checks worth $199,000 into a JP Morgan Chase account belonging to the witness. The whole time he had no idea the guy he's probably been working with for a long time is now working with the federales. Crazy to think, but the snitch who knew Griffin only as Trey provided information that led investigators to the fraudster, including text messages between the two. Within the text messages was a photo sent to the witness with Griffin's tattooed hand holding a receipt for an ATM deposit of a check in the amount of $22,000 and the witness's JP Morgan Chase debit card, the court papers state. Yep, that photo pretty much signed, sealed, and delivered everything. It says Griffin recruited his accomplices with a pair of Instagram accounts bearing the handles Trey3 and Trey3_, in which he posed with large amounts of cash and guns. In other photos, he stood in front of ATM machines and held ATM receipts. One post stated, "If you don't put a Chase in my hand by 4 p.m. today, you're literally an idiot." Oh man, Chase is chasing those chases, man. Another photo posted to the account from the inside of a Rolls-Royce automobile contained the text, "Every Chase in LA, call me right now. Next day, 20 to 90K. Jeez, that's a hell of a grip, man. And you know some people out there probably really hurting for cash, probably jump on it real quick. But on July 16, 2025, Griffin was arrested at a traffic stop in Georgia with approximately 303 grams of Mary Jane, a scale, and a firearm, but was released. Authorities later that year took him back into custody and eventually sentenced to 9 years in federal prison. And the investigation into his co-conspirators remains ongoing, which I have no idea exactly what that means, but hopefully homeboy keeps it solid. Chances are, though, he probably won't. That's just me speaking as a gambling man. I'm sure, you know, homeboy, if he ever sees me speaking on him in this video, he'd understand as well. He's a gambler. He goes to casino. And just from what I've witnessed from other stories very similar to this, especially when it's gang-related, like I already said, almost everybody ends up rolling on each other. If you ever go to jail or prison, man, you see that snitching is actually a very common activity. I mean, yeah, if people find out, you could definitely get severely injured or killed in certain establishments, but these guys, man, they're willing to risk it. They don't want to do no damn decades in a federal prison. No, sir, man. They're going to do anything and everything they can to get their asses back on the street. But that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you enjoyed and got a few things from this, like watch what you post online. Don't be falling for that fast 50,000 overnight. It's definitely a scam or a one-way trip to prison. And just like the Honorable Judge Boyd said, ask yourself this with every kind of situation. Can what you're about to do send you to prison? If so, don't do it. Or if what you're about to do could possibly send you to prison, don't do it. And chances are, man, if you do that, you'll probably stay free for the rest of your life. Until the next time, though, as always, y'all be easy, be safe, and more importantly than anything, stay free.